You're welcome back from that personality of the week, Alexandra the Great. We have so much to learn from him. And now to something interesting that affects every one of us. And I have my in-house in person of Engineer Abayomi Onasanya, the Global Director of African House. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much. Thank you for
Good to
having me.
always have you here.
Thank you very much.
Retiring into agriculture. You know, agriculture. So how can it be seen as, security, something we can fall back to?
Well, thank you for having me. Agriculture from time immemorial has been an industry that provides not only food, it provides safety, it provides a guarantee in terms of the income that you earn. And for a potential retiree in the public and civil service, agriculture in Africa, in fact, provides that cushion, that soft landing when you finish your active service to the motherland, and of course, it gives you that a guarantee that your needs will be taken care of after you retire from service.
Okay. So, are there any, support measures for anyone who wants to retire into agriculture in any way?
Yes, there are. And in fact, to answer that question, we want us to take you back to who is a retiree, you see. And you see, fortunately and unfortunately in Nigeria, the moment you retire, you lose relevance. And what do I mean by that? You all of a sudden you discover that the place you used to wake up 8 in the morning to go to, you no longer have to go there.
Yeah.
And the people you used to work with, you don't work with them anymore. And sadly, sometimes even your pension or your income stops all of a sudden, because we've had issues in the past where your pension ceases to enter your account, and then you begin to wonder, what do I do? How do I pay all these bills piling up? So and then as a result, you become nervous. So many people develop sicknesses, and then unfortunately some even die. But now trying to change the rhetoric is the concept of a retirement program, an agricultural retirement program, whereby a civil servant will have a business where they can fall back to, which it could be in farming itself, it could be food processing, it could be different products that you're making. So that basically gives you that ability to wake up in the morning, look forward to something to do. Your heart is pumping as usual, and then you're having an income to take care of your needs, even much beyond what you used to earn in the service. And as we in this program, as we proceed, we would talk about some of those programs that they can tap into as an individual even before they retire.
Okay.
And what we're driving for actually is for people to retire early. You see, to retire early, in fact, you see, yes, exactly, retire early.
You can see how my eyes are moving out.
Exactly, retire early, you see. And when I say retire early, because see, we have a public service that has a lot of, I won't say old people, because I don't want to offend old people now. These people need to retire for the younger ones to come in.
Okay.
If we do not retire, these people will not come in. And we all know
early is early.
When I say early, like 10 years before your usual time of retirement. So you know what? I'm retiring 10 years earlier than the scheduled period. So when you retire early, you have this new blood coming in to replenish the system with innovations, ideas, and whatnot. And for you to be able to take that bold move of retiring 10 years earlier, you have to have something concrete that would equal your current income. Exactly, a plan. And agriculture provides that particular opportunity, profitably, in fact, you see. And I can go on and on and on, but I don't want to jump the gun here. I'll let you.
So, how favorable or stable is the government policies to project agriculture that can boost
Unfortunately, we do not have a policy that allows people to retire early yet. And of course, we're growing as a nation, but the policy doesn't exist yet. Everybody waits till the last moment, the last year, the last day, and then you retire, and then you wait for your pension and whatnot. So the policy side, we don't have that yet. That's where private sector comes into play, because government can't do everything.
So how does the civil servant tap into this agricultural sector?
Yes, I can only speak to what we're doing as Africa House. And on the private sector, what we've done is we've created a program that allows someone in the civil service from 5 years to retirement, or up until like the last minute of retirement, such a way that you tap into like different sectors, or shall I say product streams, ready-made product streams that has been tested, that is profitable. For example, some of these items are displayed
Yeah,
here.
I'm about to ask you.
For
Okay, I can
example,
see like an onion powder.
exactly, this is onion powder, as you can see. When we all know that when onion is in season in Nigeria, in southern Kaduna, you can buy a bag for between 8,000 to 14,000 naira per bag.
Yeah.
And off season, the price jumps up all the way to 80,000. Even now, it's 80,000 naira per bag. So what we've done is we have the technology transfer, obviously, where you can process onion into powder during season, and during off season you start selling into the market. So we teach retirees to do innovative products like this. This is ginger here. This is ginger. We all know Nigeria, we have the best ginger on the planet, and I say that with all sense of humility and pride, because Nigeria, we have the best ginger on the planet. So what we teach the retirees is to create a business around the agricultural commodities that we have available in Nigeria. Number one, to stop the importation of the things that we can produce, like the case of this mango here. We all know that in season, when mango comes aboard in let's say Benue, for example, you have tons and tons of mango getting spoiled in the farms or in the markets like Zuba and what have you. But the problem is we don't have facilities to process these mangoes into mango concentrate and preserve them. And most of the so-called juice manufacturers in Nigeria import this concentrates from India, from Pakistan, and whatever. So what we have done is, with the technology that we have, you can now process mango into concentrates like this, and it doesn't require refrigeration, because the concept
What's
about
the lifespan of it?
this 2-3 years, you see, and this you can do in your kitchen. Wow. You see, exactly. So
2-3 years.
Exactly. So your retiree is taught how to do such things, and in fact, once you do that, you can now start your juice manufacturing business, so to say. Let's say you have a retiree who loves to make, want to start a juice manufacturing business. So what that person does is we teach him how to make such things, and then he or she can make from this concentrate. He can make like 4 or 5 cartons of mango juice from this with different additives that you add into it. So we're creating a value chain, agricultural value chain, where potential retirees have businesses they can do. You see, where when they retire, so they can generate a proper income for themselves. Because I know the odds of retiring without your pension. In fact, I was raised with pension money. This is why you see me very passionate about it. You see, my father retired several decades ago from a government parastatal, which I won't mention, and then all of a sudden his pension stopped. And then we've had to struggle and whatnot. And then thankfully he has children like us who takes care of him and all that. But the question is everybody that lucky to have children to take care of them? And the truth is the older you become, exactly, the older you become, the more your medical bills pile up. You see, his medicines is at least 80-something thousand like a week. Medicines. So how much are they paying you in pensions? Who pays for that? So the question is, you need to have that cushion, that safety net to take care of you.
So then how do you now balance, the retirement lifestyles and the demand of agriculture?
Thank God for technology that not everyone has to actually go to the field and start using hoes and cutlasses. There are simple businesses or agricultural techniques or innovations that retirees can tap into that doesn't involve that hassle of jumping up and down, running after people. For example, this juice concentrate, you can decide, you know what, I want to be on the packaging side of this business. So I get the concentrate from a fellow retiree producing this. I'll just focus on producing the juice and selling it. So you don't need to get your hands dirty or to actually do the heavy lifting, so to say. So some of these things are there, and in fact, we're trying to work with different government agencies to ensure that we incorporate our civil servants into this program before they retire. 5 years, 7 years, 10 years before you retire, you are taught all these principles, these ideas, and you start planning. Exactly, you start planning, and then you know that I have a business in agriculture that will take care of me once I retire. And you say, you know what, I'm earning enough from this business. Let me retire and let the younger ones come into these positions and then revitalize our economy. You see, and in fact, funny enough, some people use their football age. Of course, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on here, but the fear of retirement makes people do a lot of things. And one thing we should talk about here is that I want to put this out there is that, see, why do we have corruption in every sector of the economy? Not just government now. The truth is the fear of retirement makes people corrupt. You know that your current salary is X amount of whatever, and then you know that if I retire, I'll be in trouble. So that fear pushes you to do certain things that you would normally not do. So as a result, we have issues in our system. People are afraid. So let me embezzle as much as I can embezzle against the next 10, 20 years of my life after I retire. But with such programs, you don't need to, because you know your needs are taken care of. That fear will not be there. Exactly. So the fear will disappear.
Before I get to my next and the last question is, I'm looking at that mango, and I'm thinking of mango lassi. I know you're my person.
Exactly. That's true. That's true. And not just mango, by the way. Several fruits. Mango is just an example. You can do, name it, strawberries, name it, all the fruits available in the country.
So I know, and then we're really running out of time because we have so much to talk about. This is about us. That's why when I started, I now said us. This is talking about us. So we'll talk more on this. And I'm sure a lot of people will want to know more on how to get involved in this. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
And it's always good to have you here. Well, we've been discussing retiring into agriculture with Engineer Abayomi Onasanya. And he said you can retire early as 10 years from your retirement, because there shouldn't be fear of that. We're going to short break, and our entertainment corner comes.